You're still watching The Marketplace with me, Charles Aite. Now to a story that I believe will catch the interest of so many of us in Ghana and around the world. Barely 24 hours after Elon Musk took over Twitter, there is anxiety about workers in Ghana and around the world over the fate of their jobs. Twitter staff have been told in an emergency meeting that their jobs are only safe for 6 months until Musk completes his $44 billion takeover. Mr. Musk, who made the shock bid less than 2 weeks ago, said Twitter had, in his words, tremendous potential that he would unlock. He also called for a series of changes, from relaxing its content restrictions to eradicating fake accounts. Well, helping us to discuss, Amel Deborah is one of Ghana's influential Twitter users, and he joins us together with Henry Kobler, lead of iSolve Africa and a tech expert as well. I want to start off with you, Amel. Many thanks for being part of this program. What will the takeover mean for workers in Ghana and around the world?
Well, I think for most of such takeovers, you have to wait and see what the new direction is, what the new plan is, so that you go with that. And if there are going to be some cuts and some people are going to lose their jobs or some positions are going to be merged, all of that will eventually come out. But I want to believe that even the Twitter office in Ghana, most of the jobs, I think when they were hiring, it was for 6 months, and then later on they will make it long term, etc., if I'm not mistaken. So I think the anxiety is right. They have every right to be anxious, but I also believe that nothing so untoward, so different will happen. So they should just wait and see what the new direction will be. Yeah.
I can see the excitement on your face, and help us translate that into the entire tech space. How are techpreneurs, bloggers like yourself, receiving the takeover?
Well, it's been mixed feelings. Even before this was announced, I remember I joined one spaces held by one American media platform, and the worry was around how one person is now owning it makes him too powerful in terms of how the usage will be. And then when I came to America a few days ago, they were talking about it in the light of him wanting to buy it so that it becomes more powerful for the likes of Donald Trump, bringing back. So the conversations have been mixed.
Yeah.
But for me, I think I'm taking him on what he's saying, that there's a lot of potential in Twitter that needs to come out. And when great minds, when people think and want to evolve. I mean, even before the takeover, Twitter itself has been going through a lot of that over the period. And we've seen some of the innovative things come out, and we are using them and we are happy. So as users, we want the best. And if the direction that Elon says he's going really materialize, then I'm sure that we're going to get a lot more out of Twitter. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to what these changes would mean in terms of content creation, in terms of usability, the interfacing, what other developers can plug into the system and benefit from it, and all of that. So I'm looking forward to that.
Indeed. Amel, please hold on, because we have Henry Kobler. He's a tech expert as well. He's been following this development closely. Henry, I mean, we have had discussions about Elon, over the past, bulletins. And of course, it begs the question, what will an Elon Twitter experience be like from your perspective as a tech expert?
Okay, Charles. So, I mean, when you look at Twitter, it had moved from being a microblogging site. I mean, now you have NFTs flying in and all of that. And if you're looking at one of the people that have solely benefited from Twitter in terms of, let's say, putting in the perspective of cryptocurrency, I mean, Elon Musk basically had, influenced a lot of behaviors on Twitter. And so I think that him coming in, really, I basically look at it from a point where it looks like it's an agenda where he's putting it as a full point. I mean, he's trying to look at a point where he's taking good verification, making a verification in there. And so, I mean, for me, from the tech side, I think that he's just looking at blowing it out of perspective, opening it up, because Twitter has always been a closed platform where, I mean, advertisement in terms of Twitter is a difficult for sub-Saharan Africans who want to do administrate on. I think that he basically had opening it up to a more advanced media part. Again, also as an influential tool where people could really use those tools for whatever agenda they seek to set. I personally feel that it's basically just going to toe down on in the cryptocurrency point. I mean, I think that I'd mentioned to a few people that if you're looking at buying anything in cryptocurrency market, look at buying anything that Elon Musk basically influences, because he's going to put in a lot of influence and again also trying to do some level of manipulation in terms of the algorithm to sort of suit what he really wants. Because he's a business guy, I mean, for him to put up that amount to do a takeover means that he's coming in as a business person. It might not necessarily be the values or the concept, the original concept from the founder's point of view. It would basically be going way out of order to do things he feels that should be in a business perspective, alight in terms of influence.
It's interesting that you made mention the fact that indeed he is a business person and is coming on board with the entrepreneurial mindset. Amel Deborah, you also, relate much to the, the sphere of entrepreneurship regarding what you do, content creation. I mean, what's going to be the game changer for tech entrepreneurs like yourself, looking at, the Elon Musk Twitter takeover situation?
Yes, like I said, I don't want to jump the gun. I think at the moment it's still early. We don't really know what really the motives are and also what clear-cut agenda he has to uplift it from what it is now to what he wants to become. But as somebody who has always plugged into social media to spread my content, to engage and build some sort of influence, I want that to continue and perhaps get a bit more amplified. Talking about algorithm and all of that, everybody wants to be seen. And the more these places become so populated and you see that your reach is reducing, but if there comes a proper way where content and information gets trickled down to everybody based on their point of need, more than what everybody else is seeing, perhaps, I think it will help us. And for those who are in different spaces, whether you're doing business, tech, whatever, you want whatever you're doing to reach a certain community of people that have a need for what you do. So enriching that experience, I think, is one of the best ways that users on platforms such as Twitter can benefit, whatever the agenda is.
Great. Amel Deborah, grateful that I could join us on this. He's a celebrity blogger. And of course, let's end with Henry Kopla. Henry, Elon says Twitter has tremendous potential that he would unlock. From your experience, what exactly are you looking at in terms of the potential that he indeed intends to unlock it?
So number one, Twitter has been a major communication tool. I mean, if you're looking out for verifications in terms of humans that are on there, I think you would definitely trust Twitter than any other platform. Again, I mean, most of the influential news and influencers basically is also coming in from Twitter. If you're looking at the current integrations that they've actually just done, plugging in with the audios and the spaces. I mean, just trying to do a bit of copy from one end to the other. Stealing features and just dropping in there. I think that if you know Elon, I mean, from SpaceX, from PayPal, they actually understand that he comes in with a different mindset. He basically just subjects the tech to sort of fit. I mean, if you had listened to a lot of the conversations from a lot of the Twitter employers, you realize that they're like, hey, bring in Tesla. That gives you a sense of feeling that they sort of like what he's doing, even out of Twitter. And so him coming into Twitter definitely brings in an iota of ideas where he sort of will be looking at exploring. I mean, even before he got in, he was looking at building his own Twitter. And then he says, no, it doesn't really make sense if I can relatively get it. And then he gets in and then says, look, I don't want to have boards making the decisions for me, left, right, center. Let me just get in fully and then just put in what I want to down place. So I think that he's coming in with a lot of ideas. He's done a lot of tweets to sort of suggest a lot of the ideas he seems to want to bring on board. I mean, simple things like edit button to free speech. I mean, there are quite a number of things he seeks to put in terms of its psychological ideas, right? So for me, I can trust that he's going to do a good work. He wouldn't just buy a free platform for buying sake.
Henry Kobler, it's always grateful that I could join us. And of course, his lead with TechFab ISOF Africa. We shall continue monitoring the space, especially when the takeover is in process for Elon Musk for Twitter.